Just because you don't know who's getting paid doesn't mean no one's getting paid. You best believe somebody getting paid. It just ain't your ass. If this was a boycott for Black America, I'd be damned. But it ain't a boycott for Black America. Boycott.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
If there are any Black organizations who are trying to have side meetings with Target and they are not a part of this boycott, they have not used any of their resources or notified people, if they are not communicating with the leaders of this boycott, we gonna call them out publicly. Because what cannot happen is for folk who ain't invested anything in this effort to then go try to break off a few crumbs by negotiating behind the backs of the people who are actually doing the work.
Amen, bro. Let the church say amen. That is important that we don't allow ourselves to be picked off. This boycott is absolutely working, which is why Target is going to this leader, this community. You know, they even met with some of our Hispanic sisters and brothers trying to pick off, pit Black and brown people against each other.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Yeah, that's sad, Johnson. This is a sad segment, Johnson. Yeah, but I will speak to it, though. No, there is no Black-Brown coalition. No, there isn't. There isn't a Black-Brown coalition. And it's really sad, man. This whole thing about DEI, they're still on that. They're still on that. Look, guys, I did a whole segment on this topic. I pulled up the issue. I'd like to see the numbers. I'd like to know quantitatively how many businesses, how many Black people. First of all, I'd like to know how many Black employees have lost their jobs at Target because of the loss of revenue that Target sustained during this boycott over DEI. Not over Black people being hired, but over DEI. No one can give me numbers. No one can tell me how many Black employees lost their jobs. Then no one can tell me how many Black businesses were hurt by this hissy fit over DEI not being implemented in stores. They can't tell me that either. They can't tell me how many Black businesses were impacted negatively or positively. I can't imagine how they could positively be impacted. But how many were negatively impacted? No one can give me those numbers. Last but not least, nobody can tell me how many Black Americans or how many Black businesses, because Target's been one of the best partners for Black American business, Black small businesses in the country. I repeat, Target has been one of the best partners to Black businesses when it comes to retailers in the country. No one's telling me how much did we benefit from DEI? How much were those businesses there because of DEI? Were they there because they were there? Were they there because of relationships that Black Americans had with Target, or were they there because of the diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives? Get what I'm saying? No one's giving me numbers on this. If you give me numbers on this, I'll take a look at it. I'll consider. But until you give me numbers on it, it sounds like a bunch of people circle jerking and virtue signaling. And now they're arguing over who gets credit for this thing they say is working real well, then no one can give me numbers on it. Also, there are a lot of people that are saying, a lot of people are talking like Senator Nina Turner. They're talking as if this is a win. Here's what I know, because I've been Black a long time. Nina, Roland, we all been Black for a long time. When there's going to be payback for this, and I got to imagine at some point there will be payback for this. Who's going to have the brunt? Who's going to bear the brunt of the payback for this whole thing? Because we're not going to benefit the most from it. We already know that because we don't benefit the most from affirmative action. We didn't benefit the most from DEI. And we ain't going to benefit the most from whatever negotiations come forth from this boycott. And if so, what are the demands? What are you demanding? Because it sounds to me like you are demanding something specific. I hope. Once again, I haven't heard any specific demands. Bring back DEI. to what, for what, to accomplish what, and at what cost. See, Roland and Nina were two people that were running, that were saying very often that DEI meant black. Though I produced documentation, a number of us have produced documentation on this. I produced documentation that showed we're not really impacted by DEI like that. Black people are not benefiting from DEI like that. Neither in the management and the directing of DEI policies. We're not getting the jobs running the DEI programs. In fact, there's a disparity of who even gets the jobs to implement DEI. There is discrimination in the DEI implementation itself that no one wants to talk about. I'm not let alone talk about how it's implemented in these retailers and businesses and restaurants and these other corporations. I'm talking about just the structure of the DEI certifications and who gets hired as directors to conduct DEI trainings and oversee the practices. We're not even getting picked to do that. So yeah, I got a lot of questions and I can't get any answers out of anyone. But still, it's a very popular issue because everyone loves the talking point. That black people are being discriminated against. And once again, guys, for the record, last thing before we go back to the tape, last thing. If you can show me, look, I would support this, though I'm not a fan of Roland. Not at all. Not a fan of Al Sharpton. Not a fan of Jamal Bryant. But I am a big fan of Black America. If this was a boycott from Black America, I'd be down. But it ain't a boycott for Black America. It's a boycott for Eskimos, little people, veterans, differently abled, LGBTQ, Latinos, Asians, people left-handed who pitch right-handed, everything except cisgender, which are straight white men. Because that's what DEI is. Everybody. And if everybody wins, nobody wins. And we know it's worse than that because when it comes down to it, folks, and I got to tell you, black men, I got to tell you this, because Roland not, he's selling black men out. Black men at the bottom of the DEI checklist. Well below black women and well below white women. Okay? Okay.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Two, no, we can't have that. We have got to stand solid and stand strong. And the point that you've been making, Roland, thank you for that. You can't inch around the people who actually had the courage to get this thing started. Now, of course, this is bigger than any leader, any national leader, any grassroots leader, because we needed the people to pull this off. And so the people have shown, both the black community and others who are in allyship with us, they have shown that, hey, we are rocking with you. Even in the LGBTQ plus community in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis in particular, they turned down Roe. When Target did this, that Pride group turned down the $50,000 or $60,000 that they were getting from Target regularly and said, you know what? And they can at least afford it. But they said, you know what? You want to roll with bigotry? We don't want your money. So from a grassroots group like that to others, to your point, come on, black folks, you can't have these side meetings with these people and take crumbs when we have a larger vision here.
What's the vision? So let me get this right. To her point, I didn't know this. Brand new. This is good stuff. So you mean to tell me that Latino groups are getting money from Target? And they stopped taking the money because they want to stand in solidarity with black Americans who weren't getting any money. And if black Americans were getting money, tell me what money we were getting. Because I haven't heard where black Americans were getting money. But you just said Latino organizations or LGBTQ were getting money. Was that LGBTQ or was it Latin? I really don't know. I kind of lost the thread there. Nina Turner just said that there were other groups that were getting money from Target regularly. What groups are that? So the deal that's going to be cut from the boycotts, who going to get money from that? Is National Action Network one of the organizations that's going to get money? Is this a shakedown that's going to some non-government organization, NGOs, that are run by people like Al Sharpton and, I don't know, maybe a Stacey Abrams organization here or there, or maybe a BLM light group that's run by, what is it, Mondale Robinson, for instance? Like, what's going on here? What's happening? Like, let us in on the scam. I mean, the plan, man. See what I'm saying? Folks, she just said there were groups that were getting money from Target. The Tim Black Show group wasn't getting any money from it. The TTL Media group wasn't getting any money from it. Was Al Sharpton's group getting some money from it? Was the, what's his name, Jamal Bryant, is he a part of an organization that was getting money from it? Was the Oprah Winfrey group getting money from it? I don't know. Was the Roland Martin group getting money from it? See, these are the things I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at because somebody, I'll just say this, guys. Just because you don't know who's getting paid doesn't mean no one's getting paid. You best believe somebody getting paid. It just ain't your ass. I just know nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Okay? And there's something going on. And I smell something rotten in Denmark.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Tim Black's BS detector.
Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.